San Francisco is a team with some major questions headed into this NFL draft. Already this offseason, for instance, they decided to trade Deebo Samuel, couldn't re-sign Dre Greenlaw or Talanoa Hufanga, and decided to cut their entire defensive line. So unsurprisingly, fans of the team and people who cover the team have been awaiting the NFL draft, and with it less than 10 days away, I decided to do my version 2 of the mock draft. And like my first version, I'm going to have some set rules to make it as realistic as possible. First, there's going to be no user trades because it's just too easy to game the system that way. Another thing I'll be doing is put myself in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's shoes to not necessarily make the pick I want, but what I think they're going to go do. So jumping right into this, I'm going to go ahead and put my mock draft simulator down below just so you guys have it if you want to make your own mock draft. And starting out with the 11th overall pick, I personally wouldn't mind if San Francisco was able to grab Will Campbell or Ahmad Mimbu, but I think they're going to go ahead and go edge, not Mike Green though this time, and I'm going to have them picking up Mykel Williams out of Georgia. He's only 20 years of age and he comes in at 6'5", weighing 260 pounds with extremely long arms, and he's a menace in the running game. He routinely sets the edge and 30% of his tackles were tackles for loss at Georgia. I also like how he uses that length to his advantage. In the passing game, for instance, you'll see him bat passes as well as trigger strip sacks with his long arms. And in the running game, he does a good job of engaging with an offensive lineman, extending his long arms, reading where the back is going, and then shedding that block. Another thing I like about Williams for Chris Kaceric's defensive line is his versatility. He can rush both inside and outside the tackle. We've seen guys like Charles Omenihu have a lot of success in San Francisco's defensive line doing this, and I think Williams could have that same level of success, if not more so. He also has an extremely nice first step. He routinely is able to transition into a power move, specifically a bull rush move that he uses to dominate offensive linemen. That being said, I do think he needs to continue to refine his pass rush moves and his counters, but with the help of Nick Bosa and Chris Kaceric, he should be able to do that. Now back to drafting. With my 43rd overall pick, I am going to pick up another edge piece, this time James Pearce Jr. When I started this mock draft, I wasn't necessarily thinking of immediately picking up 2 edge pieces, but James Pearce Jr. is just too talented of a player to let him continue to fall. He comes in at 6'5", weighing 245 pounds, and he has blistering speed, running his 40-yard dash in 4.47 seconds, and I believe he's a perfect complement for a player like Mykel Williams. Early on in his career, for instance, Pearce Jr. figures to mainly be a pass rush specialist because he needs to add some strength and size to be effective in the running game. So on first and second down, you can have Williams as your edge piece opposite Bosa. Then on third down, you can slide over Williams to the defensive tackle spot to create a NASCAR package while bringing in James Pearce Jr. on the outside. And he has an extremely explosive first step that would fit into San Francisco's defense perfectly. As far as concerns go, he does need to continue to add size and strength, as I was alluding to earlier, as well as continuing to refine his pass rush moves. And there is a question about his character, as he was arrested, but those charges were dropped. Still, if San Francisco can get him in the second round, I think he's just too talented not to draft, regardless of who you pick up in the first. And this probably doesn't surprise you, but going back to the draft board, for my 75th pick, I'm going Alfred Collins, an interior defensive lineman for San Francisco. He has prototypical size, coming in at 6'6", weighing 332 pounds, and he has extremely long arms that help him disrupt the quarterback's throwing lanes. He should also help San Francisco's struggling run defense, as he does a great job of taking on double teams and shedding them. He does need to continue to refine his game, but with the right coaching, and I think that coaching is from Chris Kaceric, he can develop into one of the better interior defensive linemen of this draft. Now with the 100th overall pick, we're adding competition on the interior of the offensive line, picking up Jarrod Wilson. I think he should be able to compete both for the center and left guard spot. And athletically speaking, he's a perfect fit for San Francisco's offense that prioritizes an offensive lineman's ability to get up to the second level as well as pull. He comes in at 6'3", weighing 310 pounds, and at the combine, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.84 seconds and his 10-yard split in 1.72. I also like his athleticism and pass protection, as he shows off great footwork. I do think he needs to continue to add strength to be successful at the next level, but for Kyle Shanahan's offense, he seems like the perfect fit. Now with the 113th overall pick, I'm looking for Dre Greenlaw's replacement in Chris Paul Jr., someone San Francisco plans to meet with. He comes in at 6'1", weighing 222 pounds, and at the combine, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.63 seconds, and like Greenlaw, he does a great job of playing sideline to sideline. And last year, he was the finalist for the Butt Kiss Award, which is given to the nation's top linebacker, and he led his team with 88 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, an interception, and 4 passes broken up. Probably my favorite part about Paul is his ability to tackle. When he gets a hold of you, he rarely lets go, and he also does a good job of setting his angles of pursuit. He does need to continue to add some mass for the next level, but right now, I think he makes a lot of sense to start next to Fred Warner, especially given his ability against the run. Now back to the draft board, with my 138th pick, I'm going Jamaree Caldwell, an interior defensive lineman San Francisco has shown interest in. He comes in at 6'2", weighing 332 pounds, and he does an excellent job of eating up double teams and will instantly make San Francisco's defense better against the run. And given his size, he's really athletic and keeps his motor hot in the running game. He does a great job of chasing down lighter backs and stays active throughout the rep. There are some questions about his pass rush moves, but for a mid-round value, I think it's worth picking up Caldwell. Now with the 147th pick, we're going to try to replace Charvarius Ward, picking up Nohl Williams out of Cal. He ran his 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds and his 10-yard split in 1.54, and he comes in at 6 foot, weighing 200 pounds. What really stands out about his game is how much of a ball hawk he is. He snagged 14 career interceptions, including 7 last year. A big reason for this ball production total is his ability to quickly recognize a wide receiver's route, read the quarterback's eyes, and then jump the ball. And when he's going up to attack the ball, he's almost like a wide receiver. There are some questions about his run support, but his big play ability is undeniable. Back to the big board, with pick 160, we're picking up Devin Neal to replace Jordan Mason. Like Mason, Neal is a true power back, coming in at 5'11", weighing 213 pounds, and at the combine, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.58 seconds. When you turn on his tape, you'll notice he does a great job of reading his running lanes, and then is extremely decisive when he sees the lane open up. He also is always falling forward, and I love how he prioritizes ball security. And coming out of the backfield, he's not like Christian McCaffrey, but he's capable. Probably the biggest downside is his breakaway speed, but in San Francisco's offense, I could see him having a lot of success. Now with the 227th pick, I'm picking up Andrew Armstrong to help mitigate the loss of Deebo Samuel. He comes in at 6'4", weighing 202 pounds, and he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.51 seconds. Not only does he have great hands, but he's extremely productive. Last year for Arkansas, for instance, he had 78 receptions and 1,140 yards. He does need to prove he can create separation against man coverage at the next level, but he has good size and ball skills, so I think San Francisco could pick him up. Now with their second to last pick, I have San Francisco picking up Maxen Hook out of Toledo to compete opposite Malik Mustafa for the starting safety position. He comes in at 6 foot, weighing 202 pounds, and at the combine, he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.55 seconds. And like Mustafa, he's excellent against the run, and he's always looking to make a big play. Sometimes this does result in missed tackles, but this late in the draft, he's worth the pick. Now with San Francisco's final pick, with Nick Nash available, I have them picking him up. He comes in at 6'2.5", weighing 203 pounds, and he ran his 40-yard dash in 4.57 seconds. Nash has great ball skills, but he needs to continue to develop his route tree as he's a former quarterback turned into wide receiver. But now that I'm done with my mock draft, that was really kind of unconventional to start selecting 2 edges in a row, I want to hear your thoughts down below. It would also mean a ton to me if you could like and subscribe, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.